I knew it. I knew it was gonna scare both of us. And it did.
Oh my God. That was really fun. So Becca and I are back, and
Yeah.
guys,
Yeah.
we're gonna do something a little crazy. And we're moving comment corner this week because we have, which, first of all, we have to say thank you to you all because
Yes.
we have been fed. Bullying works, and that's all
Yeah.
we can say really at this point.
Rolling in the emails.
Literally,
Yeah.
bullying works. We have backlogs and of keep writing in, but we have a good amount of comment corners at this point.
Yeah.
Um, and we're very excited about that. But
Hmm.
we once again heard from ectoplasmatic,
Yes.
one of our besties, a bestie of the
Yes.
pod,
Hmm.
who is quickly working their way to a producer credit on this pod because they've now given us 2 ideas for episodes,
Literally.
and that's more than a lot of people have
A lot of
given
people,
us.
including one person in this room.
No, you got a lot of ideas.
Okay.
Anyway,
Yeah.
but so we start with ectoplasmatic comment corner. So Ecto writes, "Hello." Well, actually, what was the subject line was pondering.
Right.
Um, so subject line pondering. Hello. I know you've both mentioned growing up with pets, and Quinn has talked about growing up on a farm due to their mom's profession. So I was wondering, what connection do you two have to animals? What are your best and worst experiences with animals, or a vivid, fond memory that stands out in your memory? Would you want to have pets in the future? If so, what kind? Um, Thank you, Ecto. I actually read
Hmm.
this. I was on a train coming in Japan. I believe I was coming back from the deer park. Um,
Aw.
and so it was
Wow.
actually apropos. But yeah, so Becca and I are gonna do a little episode on animals.
Animals, guys.
Um, and
Heard of it?
yeah, before I talk, I do want to clarify because I was with friends this weekend, and
Hmm.
even they were like, I feel like people are confused about the part of my lore when it comes to my mother's job.
Right.
It was always something confusing to people. Like people thought I like lived on a farm growing up, like in elementary school, and I would tell them what my mom did, and I was like, no, I just live in a house, like in
Hmm.
a
Hmm.
neighborhood. And my mom is not like a farmer
Right.
by any means. Nor does she work in the farming industry.
Hmm.
What my mom has is a barn, and there's a little bit of a distinction there. My mom is not like growing anything or like livestock or anything. She just like kind
Hmm.
of houses things
Right.
and then
Right.
invites people to be like, "Oh, do you want to come ride my things I house?" Which do
Hmm.
happen to be horses, actually,
Yeah. Yeah. Fair
if we're going to
enough.
talk about it.
Hmm.
Um, and so yeah, I did not grow up on a farm by any means. I did grow up in a barn. I was at my mom's work with her a lot in the various
Hmm.
barns she worked in throughout her life. I was actually in a barn when 9/11 was happening. Fun fact about me. Um,
Everyone remembers where they were.
including me, who was
Mhm. Mm,
9 months old, ten
yep.
months old.
It's
Anyway, it's just
important.
I'm just smart. Like I just remember everything that's ever happened. But
Exactly.
so yeah, I didn't like wake up and have to like feed the cows or nothing. Um, but I did kind of help my mom out with some odds and ends around the barn whenever I could. I did ride for a little while growing up. That's another question people often have. Um, but yeah, but because of my mother's work, animals have always been a part of my life.
Hmm.
Um, it is why I live the life I live, really,
Yeah.
based off
Yeah.
animals. And so, um, yeah, I that's kind of my like biggest background with animals. I credit the
Hmm.
horse dander for why I've never had any major illnesses. Um,
Oh my God. That's 1,000% it.
but Becca, what was like, not what was your introduction to animals, but like,
Yeah.
what do you have like a high level, like kind of like, I guess you don't have like what I have where it's like, oh my God, well,
Right. Well,
but
yeah, I mean, okay, so I had some like small animals or whatever. Um, I do have a very core memory of I never even met this cat, but it was the
Mm-hmm.
cat that my mom had um in her like college age life. And
Mm-hmm.
then I forget what happened to that cat. But anyway, um and she made a shirt that had the cat's name on it and a picture of the cat. And like that shirt was shared between me and her for bedtime. And
Yeah.
her cat's name was Tonka.
Pull up in a Tonka, color of Willy Wonka.
Wonka. No, exactly. That's exactly what, yeah.
Mm.
Nikki wrote that verse about my mom's little white cat. It was one of those like really fluffy, like posh ones. Um,
Ooh.
but I think about Tonka all the time actually, and that damn t-shirt because it made me really want a cat. So yeah, I've had cats, I've had dogs. I love horses. My dad used to ride horses all the time, and his
Really?
sisters were like not professional, but athletically trained horseback riders.
Mm.
So slay to that.
Yeah.
I would love to get a lesson from your mom.
Oh my God. She would love to teach
Actually,
you.
actually a bucket list
That would be an
item.
interesting that would be good like bonus content. I take you to the
Oh yeah.
barn.
Oh
I always
yeah.
want to take people there. It's like kind of like it's kind of weird, but like I always want to like show people
I would love to see
because I'm
it.
like this is
I love
important.
horses.
But nobody's ever been like when I was dating my ex who I was like best friends with in high school too. Like
Mm-hmm.
they never even went there. Um,
Oh
so
my
maybe I should start
God.
making that part of the tour. But
Wow. Definitely.
yeah, it's funny you said the thing about the cat because I was like, I remember I let my cat out earlier because I do have a cat, which is something I also know people don't really know about me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we do have a cat, and he goes outside, and he like it's getting warm enough where he can. I mean, maybe not now, but which is why I was like, is he inside? But it's
Mm-hmm.
getting warm enough now where he can start to like go outside again. And I let him out earlier, and I'm like, did he make it back in, or
What is he up to? Cats are crazy like that.
which is funny because one time when my friend Corey was here, he like woke up early in the morning before anyone else and like went downstairs to get some water or something.
Mm-hmm.
Or I forget why he was. No, it happened like the night before, but he was like going in or out of the house and the cat like snuck out behind him and he
Oops.
didn't know that the cat was like an outdoor cat. And so apparently he like went out and was like trying to like look for it and
Aw.
was like and then he like had to give up and he was just resigned to like never tell us that like it happened. And then
He let the cat out.
the next day the cat like walked in the kitchen and he was like and I was like I like noticed he had like a weird reaction to the cat and I was like what? And he was like oh nothing. And then later he came to me and he was like yeah, so I thought I like let him out and he was just gonna be gone now.
Oh my God. It's crazy to know now about him that he's the type of person that would not tell you he lost your cat.
Oh yeah.
Or did
Oh,
you
a
know that
thousand
already?
percent. Would not
Okay.
tell. Yeah, he was like, oh, and I fully wasn't gonna tell you about it. In terms of like house pets, because like horses are interesting because they're kind of like it's kind of like having a pet, but it's also kind of like having a car. Like it's like
Right.
it's like a pet that's like so much more expensive than like another pet, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
And also like so much bigger.
Mm-hmm.
I
And then of
often
course you have to pay the horse insurance.
yeah, they are insured. No, you were making
Yeah,
a joke, but you can buy insurance for horses. My mom just had a whole thing with
I'm
it
sure
because
actually.
one of her clients bought like a really expensive horse, and then like a couple months into them owning it, it colics and almost dies.
Oh
Um,
no.
but yeah, you can insure those horses for a lot of fucking money because they're a big investment.
Damn. That's kind of true. Okay. Cool.
Um, so when they die, you can just buy a new one. Anyway, but
Perfect.
the circle life. But I, similar to you, I've always had a dog. Like I've always grown up around a dog. The only time I didn't have a dog living with me is when I lived in Pittsburgh.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I've always had dogs because dogs are also really big in like horses and stuff. And my mom has a job where she like works outside. So she's
Hmm.
always had like animals around her. Like she takes our dogs to work with her.
Hmm.
Um, depending on the day and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But my mom, it's funny you brought that story up about your mom's cat because I'm also connected to one of my mom's animals that happened before me.
Uh-huh.
So my mom believes that she has like a spirit following her.
Mm-hmm.
That's like her dog's spirit, basically. And so it started with this dog named Whitney she had when she was in college.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so she actually had to put Whitney down. Um,
Dang.
yeah, and so she put Whitney down, and then literally later that day, what'd she find out? But that I was coming. That's right.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm. And she'll always joke about it, and she'll say, "Yeah, so it was a pretty bad day."
Nice.
Let's just say I wasn't exactly planned, guys.
Our miracle baby.
I'm miracle baby. Not even. I think there was just, Anyway, I don't want to talk about that
Okay.
actually.
Okay.
But so yeah, so I am kind of connected to Miss Whitney in that way. And if my mother's theory is true, I've met her twice. I've had her twice already as my own dogs.
Wow,
Um,
yeah. The
because my
pet
mom believes she's
the pet
reincarnated
psychic.
twice. Yeah.
Right. Yeah,
And my
of
mom
course.
does. Have I talked about the pet psychic on like a recording format, or have I just told you about
Yeah.
that? Okay.
No,
And
I think it was an episode.
my mom does go to the pet psychic quite a lot. Oh yeah, the paranormal.
Keeps
We would
up
have
with
talked
it.
about in the paranormal episode.
Yeah.
She does consult the pet psychic a lot.
Trust.
Who is a psychic medium specifically for animal spirits.
Yeah, the pet
Um,
psychics are being paid.
yeah, exactly. And
Trust that.
a lot of y'all might not know about it, but my mom's gonna put you onto it. And yeah, so I've literally always had a dog. I've had a cat for like the last 10 years.
Hmm.
Um, and like your random odd fish. I remember one time I went to fish at a fair and my mom like flushed it down the toilet immediately. Or maybe it
Dang.
died. But you can
Probably.
never really know what
What goes on with
happened.
fish?
Um and so but like tell me about uh like what was like your first pet you remember having?
Oh, okay. So this was fresh off the divorce. Jewel was like, I'm gonna change these kids' lives again.
Again. Otra
And
vez.
so I didn't have a pet yet. Um, but my extended family always liked animals and stuff like that. So
Uh-huh.
my first pet was actually a snail. It's giving Gary.
It's giving Gary.
And something actually, because yeah, we did name it Gary. Something
What
actually
else are you to
we
name it?
literally there's no other option. Um, something we didn't know about snails, because we did actually no research before getting the snail, is that they um they self I forget what it's called. They produce a baby by themselves.
Oh, asexually reproduce.
Yes, and by a baby, I mean 400 babies.
Oh my God.
And those babies will try and leave the cage and they will succeed and they will go everywhere.
You would leave
Like
the house for a couple weeks while the exterminator did their thing.
well, actually they don't make it far because they're so small.
Oh,
So it's just
so
kind of like
dark.
I know, it's just kind of like a table full of dead baby snails. It's just kind of really sad. And like as a child, like it's a little scarring.
Yeah.
And then your mom just like throws them in a trash bag and you're like, okay.
Oh my God.
Oh, we were actually unfair owners.
Oh, that reminds me. Something I just remembered is so every year
Oh no.
growing up in this house that I live in now,
Uh-huh.
we would find like bunnies in the backyard, like baby rabbits,
Aw.
and they would always be super cute. And we would always like fuck with them, but that's like, don't do that, guys, because
No, yeah.
their mother will abandon them if they smell if she smells that humans have been exposed to them. And they
Aw.
famously cannot make it on their own despite your best efforts. So
Oh.
we had
Yeah.
multiple rabbits die on our watch because we were being dumb.
Aw.
Um,
Okay.
and so
Well, that
yeah,
was
so we both confessed to sins on the podcast already.
exactly. Oh my
Peeta's gonna come
goodness.
after us after this episode. But where's that? But I
Too
don't think
high to
Peeta
give a
should.
shit about PETA.
I
So I actually don't care.
don't think Peeta should be mad at us because we are saying we're not saying like, okay, guys, go do the same thing we did. We're saying
No, we're saying don't.
don't actually.
Don't do that. Yeah.
Oh wow, your
Yeah.
first pet. Wow,
Yeah. And then
that's
we got
dark.
the cats shortly after, and that was much better. We were way better with them. And
Mhm.
they lived for a long time. And then we got the dogs. That's my pet journey. And excuse me, my mom, pardon, my mom is
uh,
obsessed with dogs now. Like, oh my God,
really?
I had to beg her to get
Not to
Goldie.
get another one?
And now
Oh.
she's obsessed. She works at that shelter all the damn time. She's always at that damn
She's
shelter.
always at that. Another job listing I saw was at a doggy daycare, and I was like, okay, now I could do that.
No, if Jewel could do it, you could do it.
Because I used to, another thing about my pet journey is I used to run a business, pet sitting.
Slay.
That's how I
Quinny
made a little
peas.
money. Patty's Paws, actually, because one of
Oh,
my first dog, my middle name is obviously what my middle name is. And
of
then
course.
um, we had a dog, and for some reason, we got these two dogs, our first two Australian Shepherds. Well, no, because I think Tipper had a little Australian Shepherd in her, but our first two Australian Shepherds, and we named them Seamus and Patty for some reason. And my brother's middle name is Seamus, and my middle
Uh-huh.
name is what my middle name is, and so
Yeah,
it was Seamus so for some reason they just had our middle names.
I kind of love that.
Yeah,
They were named after their.
and it was funny because the one who liked me was Seamus, which is my brother's middle name, and the one who liked Liam was Patty, which is my
Uh-huh.
middle name.
Yeah, kinda.
Isn't it crazy how life works sometimes?
It's like Greenland and Iceland, babe.
That yes, it is that kind of
Mhm.
that classical scenario.
Yeah,
Um,
classical. Ah,
but
so true. So true. Damn.
since the day of Troy, writing stories like this.
Exactly. Uh, Quinn, wait, did you say what your first pet
I just kind
was?
of alluded to her. Well, okay, so we had
Okay.
this dog before I can remember. Like, I don't really remember having this dog. We had a little rat terrier, like Chihuahua thing named Skippy.
Oh,
Um, I like I like how you got from the energy. You were like, "Oh, so I don't feel good about Skippy because we did have to get rid of Skippy because he bit my brother."
no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then Skippy went to live with this lovely lesbian couple my mom knows, and apparently Skippy was very
Nice.
reformed after that.
Hmm. I do in part blame your brother for some reason.
Oh no, I'm sure Liam was in the wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure.
Okay,
Oh,
cool.
I'm sure. I believe dogs. Um,
Stand with them.
they don't
Stand with
know.
them.
They don't
No,
know. Um,
they're just like
and
sharks.
so anyway, the first dog I remember actually is Tipper, who was the
Mm.
second reincarnation of my mom's dog.
Whitney Hurston.
Yeah, Whitney Whitney Houston. She was the re-up. And
Uh,
so yeah, so Tipper was my mom's dog who was unfortunately hit by a car.
no, I was just gonna say hit by a
Yeah, hit by
car.
a car of the vending machine lady who worked at my mom's barn.
Pardon, vending machine lady?
Yeah,
How do you become a lady of the vending machine?
I don't know, but she found a way.
Damn.
I always had like a mental image of like this jolly like Mrs. Claus type, like driving like a van up and just killing my dog too. Like that was like the image I came up with as a child.
Yeah.
I've always had a very cinematic mind, you see.
No, I'm
Um,
picturing like an ice cream truck
and she's just like
like
la la
vibe.
la la la, and then she's like, oh,
Yeah. No.
but yeah. Oh my God, it must be the worst thing to like hit a dog. Like more than like having my dog hit, like hitting a
To be
dog.
the hitter.
Yeah, to be the hitter. I don't think I could ever forgive myself
And
actually.
Quinn with the way you drive.
I know.
We just gotta
Have
be
I ever
extra
killed
careful for you.
anything? I think I did one time. Oh my God. There was this one like flashpoint memory I have was we live on this road. Like my neighborhood is on this road
Hmm.
and you're supposed to go 25. Nobody obeys that. It's usually like
Yeah, I'm
25
sure.
means like 40. Um
Okay. Okay.
25 means like if you're going 40, slow down But anyway,
Edgy.
so my mom was driving and it must have been the springtime because there was this little goose family walking. Father goose was walking, and then mother goose was a little bit behind, and then
Oh
baby
my
geese
God.
were behind her. And then so my mom's obviously stopping, which is the decent thing to do, but they were
Mm-hmm.
walking at the top of like a hill.
Oh boy.
And so there was somebody coming up the hill who couldn't see them. And when I tell you, they were going so Father Goose got obliterated. Like
Oh
it was
no.
traumatic a little bit. Like
Oh
I remember
God.
because he put up his wings too. He like spread his wings out and he didn't like he stuck to the grill of the car because we didn't see him after that. Like he
No.
went with the car and then
That's
Mother Goose
so
was like, "Where'd my
sad.
husband just go?"
He's always on that damn
He's
phone.
always on that damn phone.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so
That is really sad.
yeah, that goose got his shit rocked that day. um, but anyway, so that was a little traumatic. And so, but one story I did want to tell about Tipper, and which tells
Hmm.
you she is the nicest dog that's probably ever existed. So we've talked about how
Oh.
I was a little obsessed with hair as a child,
Yeah.
like hair that grows out of the top of the head. And what do
Hmm.
dogs have in a large supply but hair?
Yeah. Tons.
And so this was still when I have no memory of this really, but this was still when we were living in our old house. My mother left me alone with the dog for some reason.
Okay.
And what did I decide to do but give the dog a haircut?
Oh my God.
And so I didn't go to cosmetology school. Like I can't be doing all that.
Not at that young age.
Yeah, no. I was less than 5. In my defense, I was
Yeah.
less than 5. Um And so my mom comes down and she's like, she hears me. And apparently, I'm just going over and over again. Sorry, Tipper. Sorry, Tipper. Sorry, Tipper. And this dog is fucking bleeding because I cut a piece of its ear off.
No. Oh my God. Ow.
Like, what a little psycho. Like, what? Like,
Yeah.
what
That's
was I going through?
crazy
Like,
that you had to
yeah.
do that.
Yeah. But again,
Damn.
she didn't bite me, didn't do nothing.
She stood there in silence.
She was just like, were you silent or were you silenced? She was silenced.
The latter.
No, literally, she's just like crying in pain, bleeding, and
Aw.
anyway,
Silence.
that's a funny story
Sorry,
about my
Dipper.
dog Tipper. Unfortunately, I didn't get to
Dang.
know her too well because um,
Her
not
life
too. It
was
must not been too long after that she unfortunately left us a little too soon.
dang.
Um, but yeah,
Terrible.
yeah. But after that, we
Terrible.
got Seamus and Patty, um, who lived for a while. But do you have
Yeah.
any kind of other pet stories beyond what we already spoke about
Well,
that you wanted to
I will
share
say
at this
my
venue?
grandma, yeah, my grandma is one of those ladies who did have I'm almost it's crazy to say she had birds.
Oh, my grandmother had birds too.
Yes. Did she have an African gray? That was like the
Is that the one with
move
the
in
gray little?
1998.
No, she had the little yellow ones with the red cheeks.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Yeah, no, so Barbara had parrots and
Oh,
they talked.
like big old girls.
Huge girls.
I don't think my grandmother ever had like big birds. I think she only had like small ones.
Oh no, these were big. And it was crazy because like she built a large ass birdhouse that took up a fourth of the living room.
Oh my God. Well, oh my God, this is one of those big ass bird. Yeah, this bird needs all that space.
Yeah, it's a huge bird.
What was
And she would
23
also
years?
she damn, she would also let it out in the house most of the time. So
It was
you
shitting everywhere.
you would run the risk of also just the bird flying into your head.
Uh,
Um, and
oh
I
my
do have
God. That would be fun
oh,
as a kid. No, but it would also kind
it
of be
was
scary because
fun.
that's a big ass bird.
Well, one time, and this was before she had grown children, but she had a set of parrots.
Uh-huh.
Um, and she actually Oh, she fucked up because she put a pan on the burner and forgot to put anything in it. It's giving me putting the easy mac without the water in the microwave. So she put a pan on the burner, walked away from it, and forgot to put anything in it. And nonstick pans actually have a really toxic fume that is let off, and it really comes out when you don't put anything in the pan till it's like so it's just cooking off that nonstick part of it. It becomes actually incredibly toxic to birds because all of a sudden all her birds drop dead within minutes, actually.
Why have we just been talking about negligent pet ownership
No,
so far this episode?
it's,
Like, why is
it's not great.
we're making the case for like people shouldn't have pets? Like,
Yeah. No, guys, just like that girl on TikTok with the bird, like, do your research.
oh, 1,000%. No,
Like,
it's
yeah.
yeah.
So, she did feel bad, and then she got a new set of birds and never killed any of them ever again. Yeah.
Good for her.
Yep. And
That
it
was
was crazy.
crazy. Oh my God.
Yeah. So,
Oh, yeah, I
uh,
don't think my grandmother ever killed her birds. Like
cool.
that way at
Good.
least. Not to
Yeah.
not to put a value judgment on your grandmother, but just to state the facts.
Yeah. No, it was a goofy move on her part. Like,
Yeah.
Barbara will never live that down.
And we love her for it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You're right.
Um,
Okay. If you could have like, okay, and we're not gonna
mhm,
do this because it's not ethical. But
yeah.
if you were to domesticate a wild animal, like which one would you want? And like in
Ooh.
this perfect universe, like it's gonna be good. It's never gonna do anything bad.
Okay, so my mind is going to like my mind went to like whale.
Yeah,
Because wouldn't it be cool if a whale was just like your buddy?
right.
Um, and then I was also thinking monkeys. I do love monkeys. I think it's funny how they're
Okay.
just like us.
Yeah. He's just like me for real.
Yeah, he's just like me for real. Like, and also, I will talk about this a little bit later, but the elephants I also find very majestic.
Right, right,
Um, but probably a monkey because it could be like my little buddy.
right.
Because like a whale and a gorilla you can't really take anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But like a monkey, that could be your friend.
Mm-hmm.
My guide in Thailand, she was like, when she would want to joke with it, one of her jokes was like, "We're going to see your friend, the monkey."
You're good, pal. Zay monkey.
um,
Yeah.
but yeah. So same question. Or like if I was feeling like if I wanted to be Disney princess vibes, a
Mm-hmm.
tiger.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I
Because
think like a
tigers are
cheetah.
so majestic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody, I feel like everybody's always focused on okay, the lion. The lion is the king of the jungle. I feel like we forget about the tiger.
No, the tiger's so slay. A white tiger?
Yeah,
Oh my God.
albinism snapping a little bit.
I fear. I fear.
Albinism making several points.
I think, yeah. I mean, my first instinct is shark,
Because
just
you
because I
love
love them.
sharks.
I love them
But
so
it's hard because
deeply.
and this was my block with the whale, but it's like you have to stay in the thingy, in the pool.
Well, of course, yeah.
Like you can't
But
bring
it's
it out.
like, yeah, you're right. I know. But
Not to say you shouldn't do a shark because of that. That was just my mental block with the whale.
it's like pets can be like really deeply personal, and sometimes you don't have to show them to everyone.
Yeah.
Like that can just be you and your
Like my
pet.
cat, how nobody knows.
Nobody knows her. And the people who do try to let her escape.
He's just a guy who lives here. Like,
Um, yeah, but I also would say I do love dolphins as well, and I have been
mhm.
swimming with dolphins, and they're so cute and fun. And that's the thing, I want to like swim and like ride on my pet.
Yeah, that would be cool if I could ride on like a if I
Hmm.
could ride on that whale.
Yeah. That's also why a cheetah is really attractive to me right now
I
because I would take some zoomy rides on her.
feel like a cheetah doesn't have like the aerodynamics to support like any type of human though, except for like a child.
But I'm so skinny. I'm confused.
That is you're skinny as a child.
I'm so confused, actually. That was weird.
You're a thin wayfish
But
type woman.
yeah. So that's crazy.
You're like a souped up cheetah.
So yeah, a really muscular cheetah who could
Yeah.
hit like 32 miles per hour.
A
Um,
puma.
yeah, and
I
then
would like the puma specifically from Jungle Book. Like he makes pumas seem so
that
cool.
that's what I was thinking too. I like that guy in the
I'm
tree.
looking at black ass puma.
Something I've never wanted, I'm gonna tell you now.
Okay,
A
so it brought up
snake.
porn.
Oh, little update.
Wait, okay, so a snake. I think snakes are cool too.
No, I was saying I would never want that as a pet.
Oh, you would never want that.
That, okay, that is something. I know I have a snake tattooed on my body because I recognize their beauty from distance. They're too wild for me.
Yeah.
Like, even if I know they're gonna be good, mm, just like don't get into my stuff, you know? Because they're gonna slither around.
Yeah,
They're
no, he's
sneaky
gonna
like
like make
that.
himself a little too comfortable.
Yeah.
No, that was one thing in Puerto Vallarta. We were walking one night, um, me, Paul, and Mike, and then we look across the street, and this guy was just holding a Burmese python,
Yeah.
which is the "I'm a slave for you" snake, which is a fucking invasive species in the Everglades. There are a bunch of them in the
Damn.
Everglades where they're not supposed to be,
Oh
and
my
it's like
God.
kind of ruins the ecology of the Everglades.
Yeah.
Um,
Great. Now I'm
anyway,
pissed.
uh, great. Now I'm pissed.
Okay,
God.
perfect.
Um,
Hmm.
but yeah. So moving away from pets and moving into animals a little bit more generally, since we just had
Hmm.
that whole conversation.
Right.
One of the things that was interesting traveling is I feel like basically everywhere else has like a different relationship to animals than we do, or a lot of other places I went to has a different relationship to animals than we do here.
Hmm.
Because I feel like animals, it's like in America, we're like, okay, animals fear us. Like we make animals live in fear of us.
Right.
Like hunting is a part of our culture very much.
Hmm.
And like all that. But in other cultures, they just kind of like exist with the animals. And
Yeah.
like I forget if I talked about it. I probably did. One of the things I'll always remember about Istanbul is how there were just dogs everywhere, just chilling. And like some of them were the biggest dogs I've ever seen because they probably are just like the dogs are just fucking
Yeah.
and figuring out how to make bigger and bigger dogs. I'm like, oh, that's the biggest dog I've ever seen right there, just like chilling by me in a park. But
Wow.
he's also like just some guy. Like,
Yeah, he's just who he is.
yeah, and they're not like and it's funny because they're not aggressive and they're almost like locals. Like they know how to cross the street, like they know how to look for traffic. Like
Oh
they
my God.
like you can see them like doing it all, which is like interesting because all like I feel like all of our animals we teach them to be scared of us and to be scared of like the world around us a little bit more.
Yeah. The
Whereas like
roads.
some animals are just locals
Yeah.
and people
That
are
is
just like,
cool.
"Hey girl."
Hey, hi, hello, what's up?
And
Meow,
that's
meow,
like
my.
so some things I was saving for because I
Mm-hmm.
thought we were going to do this episode from when we did the catch up episode is
Uh-huh,
I had
uh-huh.
some experiences with animals, particularly when I was in Asia.
Okay.
And when I was in Japan, the one that really stuck out to me is I went to the monkey park.
You told this and those little
I
nefarious little
did.
guys. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Okay. I remembered I told one. Did
Okay.
I say about the deer?
No.
Okay, so maybe I was saving the deer,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I was shocked at how close the monkeys were getting to me.
Uh-huh.
And like but they weren't like I wasn't I was a little afraid. I feel like if I went again, I wouldn't be as afraid, but like I was just like, "Oh my God, that thing's close." And like, you know, they were only I feel like they maxed out at like 40 pounds is what I read. But also like monkeys, like I'm not trying to be that lady that got her face ripped off.
Of course.
Even though I
Ooh,
have some zits right now, and like if my face got ripped off, I wouldn't be like as mad about it. I'm not like peak madness about my face getting ripped off at this point.
got you.
Um, but
But
I
in
would
its
like my
best
face for
days.
future endeavors. Yeah.
Yeah, of
So,
course.
um, but yeah. But then, girl, the deer.
Tell me.
This is what I've been telling people because everybody's like, "Oh, Essential Japan, go to Nara and go see the deer." And so I did that, and I felt so. What they don't say, or what they kind of maybe do say, but I didn't read into like as much,
Mm-hmm.
Baby, those deer are aggressive.
Oh,
So basically, the legend is that a god came down on a deer to like deliver a message of wisdom. And so deer in Nara used to be respected as like messengers of the gods. And so that's why like the deers are just allowed to roam like freely in the city.
yeah.
What they don't tell you is that these little fuckers are so aggressive. And they sell little biscuits for
Damn.
them. Like you can go up, it's 200 yen, and you can buy like 10 biscuits. Do not let the deer see you with the biscuits. Like,
Oh, shit.
get the biscuits and then right away, like, hide them. Because if those deer see you with those biscuits, you will quickly be swarmed by a bunch of deer. And they're not as big as the deer here in America. They're like maybe half to a third of the size. But when there's 10
Okay.
of them surrounding you, it's still kind of scary.
Yeah, you feel some type of way.
And when they're jumping at you, and when the males come behind you and headbutt you because they want a little biscuit, you're going to be like, so what the fuck?
So it's rude. It's not nice.
No, they were so rude. And like they will bow to you, but it's kind of just part of their act, right? Like
Okay. Are they cute though?
they are cute. They are cute.
Okay,
And
okay.
they make these little like they make like little high pitched sounds. They're like
Aw.
"Ee."
Aw, that is cute.
And then I saw this cute little poster because it's Japan, so everything was cute. But it had like a
Mm-hmm.
deer like ramming somebody, and it was like said stuff in Japanese, and then in English it said deer attacks are increasing
Rapidly.
because people be bringing food. Yeah, I would not suggest having any food on your person.
Okay.
The deer would also see my little bag I had with me, and they'd be sniffing it, and I'd be like, "So there's nothing in there that concerns you."
That is none of your beeswax.
I did
Of your
find a
deer
little stand
wax.
after the first one. I was like, okay, I'm not buying any more of these. But then I was like, okay, I do want to feed the deer a little bit more. And so then I found a stand where there were no deer because the deers kind of hang out around the stands, which is the other
Because they
thing.
know.
And they
Yeah.
can bully you right away. And so I found one
Right.
without, and so I was like quickly like, it was like a drug deal. I was like, here are my 200 yen. And I took it
Yeah.
real quick and I put it inside my jacket. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
no deer saw that.
Yeah.
And then I could like dispense them a little bit more normally.
Got you. Good.
Um, but yeah, but girl, could you imagine like you're, I like there are deer that have been coming into my neighbor's backyard. I like opened
Mm-hmm.
my back door and I'm standing 50 feet at least away from them on my deck, and they're like running, like they're
They're
so terrified of what
skittish.
we're about to do
Yeah.
to them. These deer are like, girl,
Knocking on your door.
excuse me, feed me,
Yeah.
feed me Seymour. It's giving very that.
Yeah.
Um, So that was something interesting about traveling and like that, like seeing like different attitudes towards the animals.
Mm, mm.
Have you
Yeah,
ever
I
had
can
any,
imagine.
have you ever
I
had any experiences with any like animals that were like maybe a little bit more, I guess exotic is a fine word to describe animals, but like exotic or like something you wouldn't have as a pet necessarily?
Oh my goodness. Well, I've been to the Philadelphia Zoo so many times in my life.
Amazing. We should go to the zoo together.
Oh my God. Perfect episode.
When they did the elementary, no, there is something. We should go to the aquarium together.
I'm obsessed with aquariums. I love them so much.
When I went to the aquarium,
Oh my
honestly, one of the
God.
best days I had traveling was the day I randomly went to the aquarium in Manchester. I, if
I
you
don't
ever
doubt
want to
that.
access childlike wonder, go to a fucking aquarium. Get your ass
Every,
to an aquarium.
no, every new city I'm in, I'm begging people to go to the aquarium. I have, well, I've done when I, used to vacation in Florida and do my summers there. I've been snorkeling and like diving a lot.
Oh.
So, I've encountered a lot of rays. I swam with sharks. Um,
Ooh.
yeah, I saw a barracuda also in the
Ooh,
water.
barracuda.
Yeah, and I had to be like, "Ugh, seriously, don't hurt me.
Hey, just take it easy,
Seriously.
man.
Chill out, bro." Um, and where else have I well, I went swimming with dolphins. I was in like a, one of those classic like captivity vibes ones, though.
I
Mm,
went
it's
at SeaWorld. I'm
okay.
problematic.
Oh yeah, I've been to SeaWorld before. when I was 7.
Mm-hmm.
Can't blame myself. Only my parents.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I wasn't even
Um,
about Shamu when I was at SeaWorld, but did you go to where you could feed the sea lions?
yes, and I went to that
That
walrus
was,
show.
yeah, that
They
was the main
slayed,
event for me,
yeah.
actually. But anyway,
They're so
Blackfish,
performative.
guys.
Exactly. One of the
Tillicum,
best,
we remember you.
literally, one of the best documentaries in the world. Um, yeah, I'm obsessed with sea life. I have in South Carolina met the baby tigers. Very Tiger King of me. I think it was literally that
Really?
one. I think, yeah, Tiger King's enemy.
I didn't watch the show. I listened to a
Okay.
podcast on it, but yeah, okay.
But so
I do
yeah,
remember him having an enemy. He has several enemies,
yeah.
classically.
Well, right. But
In sort of
the rival
classical way.
company,
Yeah.
the other guy's company, in Myrtle Beach, I think that's where we went to. And we did also meet the baby monkeys, take photos with them.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. So, um I've basically done the touristy stuff with
Oh.
animals.
Yeah.
But I definitely would swim with sharks again. I'm kind of the vibes where I'm like, put me in the shark cage. Like that would be fun.
Yeah.
Why not?
Becca would relate to them, I feel. Like,
Literally, they're my sisters.
no, literally. They would you guys would get each other in a way. Like, I don't think they would try to like well, that's also the thing. Like, sharks aren't trying to like hurt us at any point. They just like hurt
No.
us when they feel threatened.
Yeah. Or when they think we are delicious food. Like, girl.
Exactly.
I've also mistaken things for food before.
Like literally.
It's gonts to happen. I've eaten parts of
Exactly.
my napkin. It's gonts to
Not the
happen.
napkin.
Yeah, everyone has. Yeah.
Well, that reminds me, speaking of touristy, something I did do that I
Hmm.
saved for this episode,
Yes.
anticipating it, was when I went to the elephant sanctuary in Thailand.
And you did tweet on your way there.
Oh,
Do you
listening to Bear's
remember?
Claws on the way to the elephant sanctuary.
And it just was so like my perfect vibe.
You're a part of the lore. Wait. I forgot I tweeted that. Was I said listening to Coochie? No, because we were like on the it was like an hour van ride or whatever, and I was like
Uh-huh.
listening to Coochie because it's on one of my playlists, so I hear it pretty
Yeah.
frequently. I'm like,
Your
this is setting up the
coach
vibe so well
back.
for my day with the elephants. Like,
They're gonna be so happy. They're gonna be the best version of
I'm
you.
gonna play it for them, like when I get there. No, it
Perfect.
was interesting because we went there. And so then we like literally walk across this bridge and then the elephants are there and we're like, because it's
Yeah.
like they're so big, guys. Like you, however big they are, like make them a little like bigger in your head. Like they're
Yeah.
big, they're big, they're huge, actually.
Hmm.
She's a mammoth. She's huge.
She's a mammoth, of course. So it was your first time meeting an elephant.
Like that close, yeah.
Got you. I have actually ridden an elephant before.
Really?
I forgot to say, yeah.
Where?
It was at like a fair type thing, and they
Oh
did have
wow.
them. And so I did volunteer myself to go up there.
He said, put me on.
Yeah. Um,
Um,
I'm assuming you did not ride them.
no, they did not do
Yeah.
all that because, well,
Of
you
course.
can ride them. It's just that
Okay.
like where a lot of humans ride them is like wrong.
Yeah.
Like you don't ride like if you ever rode an elephant, you wouldn't ride it on its back
Right.
because its back is all like like there's not bone there and so it's squishy. Like you would have to ride them on their neck.
Yep.
Like you would ride a horse. Or no, well,
Uh-huh.
you ride a horse on its back,
No.
not its neck.
Yeah,
But
no, no,
anyway.
no. They could also scoop you in their front.
Yeah, and hold you that way. They probably
Yeah.
could. They're fucking strong.
Yeah.
Um, that thing is dexterous too.
Oh
That little
boy.
nose.
Don't I
Yeah.
believe it?
Yeah, they're not playing around with that nose.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we got to like meet and like feed the elephants and do a little like photo op with them early. And then we went and girl, they gave us our uniforms and we like fully worked there for a day.
Obsessed.
So we like yeah, we worked there for so like I think the first thing we did was we made them like a bunch of food and like medicine.
Hmm.
Like they showed us how to make like their medicine for them that they take for like their skin and stuff.
Hmm.
And so the place that we were, too was specifically focused on like elder elephants. So they had a lot of older elephants. So we met this one. She was a queen. Her name was Mamu, and she was like in her
Slay.
60s.
Oh my God. Love
Yeah,
that.
she was nice. And then they all have like their own little handlers. Like one person is assigned to each elephant. And some of them have been with their elephants for like 20 years. Like the
That's
guy
so
who was with
cute.
Mamu, he's like been her companion for like 20 years and he like works at that little place and just like shows up and like handles her every day.
Aw, they're
Yeah, they're
besties.
besties.
Wow.
And so yeah, so we would make them like little food and stuff and like watch them eat. And then we took them walking,
Okay.
like to get their exercise. We took them on this little trail to walk. And it was funny because we like would feed that we would like go a little bit and then we would stop and then we would like go a little bit and stop. When we were going, it was like if you got stuck near the back, you would always be like, because people would be like looking back and stuff, and so they'd be going slow. But if you were near the elephant, you'd be like, okay, guys, pick up the pace because Miss Mamu was gaining on us, like,
Gaining.
and I wouldn't want to get stuck under her.
Of course.
But yeah, and it was funny because they just take like full bananas and eat them. Like you hand them like three bananas at a time, and it's just gulp. Like
Yeah.
they literally have
Aw,
four teeth.
they're just huge.
They only got four teeth in that mouth, but they are big teeth.
Damn. Good for them.
Um, and so yeah, she also kept stopping to like scratch herself. And so she would like scratch
Yeah.
herself against like a boulder or like a
She's just like
tree,
me.
and the trees would be like shaking. This woman, she was a comedian a little bit because she picked like the thinnest ass tree. And she's a
Oh
big
my
girl, Miss Mamu, and
God.
she was like
Of course. She's referential.
exactly. And so we got to exercise the elephants. We saw one with these huge tusks.
Ooh.
Um, which is like it's kind of rare for them to have tusks because guys, poaching.
Mm-hmm.
People are like, oh, let me get ivory. Girl, thank God.
Boo.
And don't buy anything ivory if you're in Thailand because it's illegal to bring it in or take it out of the country. So
Kuchinori.
you'll get popped, girl.
Yeah. And they're
But
gonna judge you.
yeah, they're gonna judge you is the thing. But yeah, so Miss Mamu. And then there was like a little baby one who wasn't a baby, but he was significantly smaller than all the other ones because he was only like 5 years old. And
Mm-hmm.
he had a best friend and they were like besties. And so we got to talk to them for a little while.
Oh my
And the
God.
one, he used to be a part of like a show. Like used to be like a dancing elephant. And so
Oh.
he would like bob his head because he wanted,
Oh my
it
God.
was really cute. And
That's so
then,
cute.
yeah, we got to see them like bathe themselves. Like they took them in the water and stuff. And then we got to like hose them off, which was really cool. And some people in my group fully were like, "Oh, can we like get in the like mud pit with them?" Because it was
Mm.
like literally just like a pit where like the elephants were washed and stuff, and we stood on this little hill and like hosed them off. And this
Mm-hmm.
one girl was like, can we like get in with them?" And you could tell nobody had ever asked that before. Because all the people like looked at each other and were like, "Yeah, I guess." And it was so funny because
Okay.
it was just, like three people ended up getting in with the elephants.
Oh,
And
cool.
like they were like washing them and stuff, and like the people at the thing were so amused by it. Like the
Oh my
workers were
God.
so amused. Like you could tell they thought it was very funny that we wanted to get in the pit with the elephants.
Did you go in?
No.
Okay.
I think I was
No.
because it was really muddy and I had like just twisted my ankle freshly like 3 days before that, and so I was
Right.
like,
A
girl,
lot could have gone wrong in the
yeah.
mud.
And I also had my little
Of course.
bandage.
Other
My stitches were still
injury.
in, but anyway.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, that
Wow.
was my visit to the elephants. That was a really cool day.
That sounds amazing. Aw, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
Did that they did that at Below Deck one time.
Oh, did they? When they were in Thailand,
Yeah.
probably. But yeah, so that was my experience with the elephants.
Yeah.
Um, wait, okay.
Yeah.
So there's a question here, and I'm gonna rephrase it because I know what you were going for.
Yeah.
But like, so if you could choose an animal to like what animal do you think like really represents you?
Yes. So my goal with the question was, have you ever taken one of those quizzes that is like,
No.
okay, all right. So there's a lot of like,
My Patronus is a rat.
I think my Patronus is a deer.
Oh my God.
A rat. Wow. Huh. Wow, it just
Much
truly
to
hit
think
me.
about. I know. I was expecting a bigger
Fascinating.
reaction. Like saying my Patronus is a rat. Like that's so like
Why would they even make that an option? That's crazy, actually.
JK knew I
JK
was a
has
little
so
JK knew I
many.
was genderqueer and she said, "Mm, you get
Not
rat.
cool. It's giving rat vibes,
You're
actually.
giving rat vibes to me."
Yeah. But a representative animal of me has to, I mean, every time I take one of those quizzes, it's like, what would your animal be? I do get
Mhm.
dolphin.
Yeah.
So I feel like that is kind of like true to me. I definitely would be something that swims. Um, so yeah, I would say either dolphin or shark. What about you?
I wrote about it recently. I have something in my notebook about it, but my notebook's over there. I did like this whole because I think it's one of the prompts in that book I read. It's like, oh, if you ever like don't have anything to write about, you can write about one of these things.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think I might have said like an elephant because I know they're really
Mm,
smart
yeah.
and I relate to them and that they're like much bigger than everything around them.
And you're so tall,
And bigger
famously.
they are, harder they fall. And I feel like if an elephant fell, it would have some impact.
Oh my God, it would definitely
Um,
get a scar on its chin, I'll tell you that much.
literally. And what? I just feel very connected to whales. Like if I was something that swims, maybe I'd be a whale.
Oh my God, we would be such good friends on the ocean
I
like that.
know we would run the ocean and we would see Ariel
Yeah.
and I'd be like, I'm about to eat her. For real, for real. She
That
annoying me with all
homo
that
substance. She's always
singing.
on that damn phone.
She's always on that damn dinkle hopper.
It's crazy.
Um, yeah, what were the other ones I picked? I forgot. I truly think it might be an elephant though, because they're like smart and like I feel like I relate to them a little bit.
Hmm. Yeah.
Constantly persecuted and hunted by the media.
Oh my God. So true.
That's me. That's me a little bit.
Wow. Such good vibes, eh?
Literally. Wait, okay. Any animals you would never want to encounter? That's an interesting question you posed.
Because truly I'm so scared of hippos and rhinos.
Oh, 1000%. Oh, hippo could fuck you up if you got caught in the water.
Like bad.
Yeah.
Like bad.
No, and that's the thing. This is part of growing up around horses. Sure, it's like
Hmm.
fun and they're majestic and stuff, but something about that teaches you a little bit is you cannot trust animals. Like they are not dealing in the same realm of rationality as we are. Like you can't
Yeah,
trust them
no.
fully. One of my big icks is when people like first meet a dog and you are like immediately up in that dog's face and like being like, oh, I'm
Yeah,
like,
it's weird.
I'm like, you don't know that dog.
Yeah, no. No, no, no,
You don't
no.
know about that. And it's
Yeah.
like, girl, why are you up in his space? It's like when people, it's like, anyway, like you don't know if the dog's aggressive or not even aggressive, but like you don't know if a dog like likes when people are coming up at it. Like that always
Yeah.
surprises me. Like sometimes, yeah. Anyway,
No, I
so I have like
agree.
a healthy because like horses are like cool and like they're tame and stuff, but they could fuck you up really easily. Like
Yeah.
that's a
One small
multi
kick.
It's
One
a
small
multi.
kick.
Oh yeah, swift kick from a horse, dead.
Hmm.
Well, that was one thing about Lola, which, um, yeah, Lola was actually we discovered one time she was missing a tooth, and we think it's because
Because
she
she
got
got
kicked in the
kicked.
face. Because
Oh my
she
God.
would be a little fucker, and she would chase the horses around and like nip at their feet.
She got what came
She
to
thought
her.
she thought literally she thought she was a bad bitch when it came to the horses too. But it's like, girl, you're 20 pounds. And
You're
she
basically getting
inspired the
smashed in.
same bad behavior in Buster. Now Buster does the same thing. Is Buster missing a tooth? No, I don't think so.
Damn.
Buster's teeth are just fucked up. If you ever look inside an English bulldog's mouth,
Ooh,
mama, those things
that's
were
where they
not
get the
supposed to
English from.
exist. Yeah.
Thank you.
That was a good one. That
And
was a
that's
good
my
one.
time.
That was a
That's
good
my
one. That's her
time.
time. The red light is um oh my God. Yeah. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fucked up in there.
Those things are not supposed to exist.
It's fucked up in
Yeah.
there. No, those things are not supposed to exist.
I'm like always thinking about that one photo. Well, okay, it was a video you posted, but I took a screenshot of your dog at the top of the steps because like
What
I
do you
just
mean at the top of
can't
the steps?
like
Is it
like
Chunk?
yeah. And, yeah. And
Mr. Chung.
and it's just like it's just so funny the way his arms were like beefed out
Oh
and
yeah.
like his bottom teeth was out too. And I was just like, this dog sitting at the top of the steps is like just my brain all the time.
Yeah, Chunk. Oh my God, there'd be a whole episode about Chunk. He is
Like
a character.
also just like picture a dog named Chunk and yeah,
That's what
that's it.
Chunk looks like.
Yeah. Uh
He got the widest shoulders in the game. Widest
he's
shoulders a
beefed
dog
up.
has ever had.
Yep. Yep.
Um, and yeah, he's crazy, that dog. Miss
He's
him.
crazy for that.
Um,
Aw.
miss that guy. Um,
Chunk
but
slay.
yeah, what animal wouldn't I want to be caught with? Like probably like what? There is something that is jarring about, well, something that is like scary about horses too, is that sometimes they get loose.
Right? A wild horse.
Like sometimes horses just get loose on you, and when horses like spend when they spend like their whole lives in the paddock and in the stalls and stuff, sometimes they're like,
Hmm.
okay, I'm obsessed with the freedom all of a sudden.
Yeah. I'm gonna roam and I'm gonna
So
kick
like
probably.
it is scary, especially if they're like hyper and stuff, and they're like trotting or like cantering and running. Like
Hmm.
that's scary. I have this like one thing of like running from, because you're supposed to stay calm because horses are also very skittish.
Yeah.
And so when I was a child though, I was like, "Oh my God, it's loose." I was like running from it, and so the horse is like
Loose.
kind of chasing after me, and I was like,
Right.
"Ah!" I have like this memory of that, but I remember always being kind of freaked out when like a horse would get loose and stuff, and like everybody would be like, "Okay." Like my mom used
Stay
to be at this
calm.
one barn where they had like an intercom, and they were like, "Just so you guys know, there is a horse loose, so if you can kind of help, that would be great.
Little update.
Um, you can help, that would be
Please.
great. If not, stay safe, y'all."
Shout out to you.
Yeah.
Guys, like be nice to animals.
Yes, and that's the moral of the story. Be nice to animals. Guys, we're one
Yeah.
of them. She is me and I
Uh-huh.
am her.
Exactly. She's just like me
Look,
for real.
we know some things that they don't know, maybe, like how to talk
Uh-huh.
and how to love. Well, no,
How
they
to
know
do
how to do that. How to do
taxes.
taxes, but that's something we made up. Same with talking.
Mm-hmm. And to be fair, I don't even know how to do taxes.
And to be fair, I don't even know how to talk. So,
There we go.
um, little
Just like
boat.
that.
Um, but yeah, guys, be nice to animals. One Earth. We have one
We
Earth.
are the world.
It's one
We are the
love.
children.
Then, um, and so yeah, be nice to an
Yeah.
animal. Spay and neuter your neighbor's pets.
Mm-hmm. Without
And
asking.
voila. But I think we're gonna throw to just a small, little, tiny little break, and then we'll be right back.